Hey, welcome to part 2 of mixing together random colors. This time we're going to be doing primary colors. These are all the primary colors that I have. I'm closing my eyes here and I'm just grabbing some random ones. I'm planning on doing 5 colors. So the plan is to do 4 random colors and then add in one last one. So here I'm adding in fuchsia red since we're pretty heavy on the yellows right here. So I'm planning on just doing 1 scoop of each of those. This is the first time I'm trying it this way, and this ended up with less than half a teaspoon of total dye. And these are also dyes that are cut. You can see here that I was debating putting this much Nebula Navy because I was worried it was going to just overtake the entire thing because this is a really potent dye. But I did end up sticking to it. I'm trusting the spoons. Yeah, the next time I do this, I'm going to be using bigger spoons until I find a good sweet spot because this was a very small amount here that you can see. It was also difficult to spread out because yellows tend to clump quite a bit. You can see here a little small preview of what the splits are going to look like. I'm liking that it's a lot of variation in there. I'm going to end up adding in a little bit of uniodized salt here just to help spread out the dye molecules. This one I'm just going to be doing a simple colander twist. So I'm just grabbing the corner and I'm just twisting, and we're going to just turn into a cinnamon bun here. And then I'm planning on doing it as a dye over ice method because I think that kind of gets some really nice splits sometimes. I did put some spacers underneath here after just to help lift it off so it doesn't get the pattern of the colander onto the item. So here I'm just putting some ice here. You just mound it on up and then just sprinkle that on there. So I think here was where I realized that I was going to need to put in the salt to help spread out. This is just blended uniodized salt. If I had remembered the quantities that I had used for when I first did it, I would have just added in more, but this is the first time that I had done this, so I didn't know exactly how potent it was going to end up being. You can see here that it's very light. It didn't really spread out too much right away. Yellows do tend to dissolve really slowly, so that's pretty typical. In a second here, you're going to see it after a few minutes when it started to spread out, and that made me more confident that it was going to be okay to just leave it. So I just let it sit for approximately, I believe, a little over 24 hours. You can see here that the color didn't really make it to the other side, but you know, as they say, don't cry until it's dry. So we're gonna just throw it in the wash and hope for the best. So I usually just do a pre-wash here with just some like dishwashing detergent. I'm kind of annoyed at myself about the faucet placement. I deliberately moved it out of the way and then like unconsciously moved it back. But anyway, you can see the splits here at the bottom. It came out really good near the bottom corner, which I think was near the edges. There's a lot of negative space on this, which sometimes that can be a good thing, but I think it's a little bit too early to tell what it was going to look like when it was still wet. So here it is dry. And I don't know, I think this is a really good combination. I think I just needed a lot more dye. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of. I'm going to show a picture here with some better lighting. But maybe it's kind of like a little bit like shiitake mushroom, or maybe it's Brazil nut that I'm thinking of. But anyway, you're going to have to let me know in the comments what you think of the colors. I've been having a lot of fun with this series of mixing together colors. The next video, I'm going to be doing something very similar, but the video after that is going to be the results of taking one of the colors that I didn't like and adding in random colors to it. So subscribe to if you're interested in seeing that.